Hello students, hello everyone. In this video, I am going to discuss one more data structure, that is circular queue. Okay, and this video will be useful for those students who have opted computer science in class 12th ISC board. And in this video, I will introduce what is circular queue, and I will discuss the program of circular queue as per the pattern of board examination. Okay. And before watching this video, I would like to suggest you kindly watch the video in which I have discussed about the queue. Please watch that video first, because if the concept of queue is not clear, then whatever I will explain in this video about circular queue will also not be clear. So better you watch that video first, then come back to this video. And so without wasting your and my time, here we go with this new topic, circular queue. The definition is in front of you on the screen. Let's start with this. A circular queue is a linear data structure which works on the principle of FIFO. FIFO means first in, first out. Means the data which will insert first will be used or will be removed first. Okay, this is the concept of the, and on the same principle queue also works. Okay, enables the user to enter data from the rear end and remove the data from the front end. The same thing happens in case of queue also. In queue also we store the data at rear and we remove the data from the front index. Here also we are doing the same thing. We are storing the data at rear end, at rear index, and we are removing the data from the front index. We do the same thing in the queue also. Okay, with the rear and connected to the front end. This line makes difference between queue and circular queue. What is the meaning of this? Let me tell you. Rear end is connected to the front end. Means you can see this is the rear end of the array and this is the front end of the array, and they are connected. Connected means, what is the meaning of this connection? And let me tell you, let me explain with this. This is actually, let me explain this through this array. See, this is the array, index number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the arrays index. Okay, arrays index. Now, initially the value of front will be 0 and the value of rear will be 0 as per the question I am telling you. Initially you have to initialize front and rear at index number 0. Okay. Now we have to perform insert operation, push operation. So where do we perform that? We perform the push operation at which index? Rear index. So we are going to store the value at rear index. What is the value of rear index? 0 this time. So consider we will push a value at index number 0. Consider we are pushing 2. Then after pushing the value, rear will move to the next index. It will become 1. Now we'll put the next value at rear index, that is at index number 1. Consider we are storing 5. Then rear will move to the next index. Now we are going to store the next element at rear index. The value of rear index is 2. So we will store the value at index number 2. Consider we are storing 7. And then rear will move to the next index. Then again we are going to do the same thing. We will store the value at rear index. Consider we are storing 10 at index 3, and then rear will move to the next index 10. Okay. Then now we'll store the value, another value 12 at rear index. Then rear will move to the next index. Now again we'll store the next value to the rear index, and then rear will move to the next index, and so on like this. 20, then 7, 21. Okay. Now listen, in case of circular queue, after storing the element to the last index, we can move to the first index. Means after, when the value of rear will become 7, the next value of this rear should be 0, not 1, not 8. Means 0, 7 पे पहुंचने के बाद rear index को वापस फिर से index number 0 पे आना है. So by this way, rear end is connected to the front end. Am I clear? Means after reaching to the last index, after storing the value at last index, index number 7 in this case, the rear index should be moved to the index number 0, not must be, it should be moved to the next index number 0 if possible. Okay. So now means after storing the element to the last index, we can store the value at the first index, and we can start from here again. Okay. So after storing the element to the last index, consider we have stored the value at index number 7. Now what we have to do? We have to move to the which index? index number 0. So how it can move from to the next index number 0 if it is the last index? See, instead of doing rear plus plus, just listen carefully. Instead of increasing the value of like this, instead of doing rear plus plus, what we do, we update the value of rear as rear equal to rear plus 1 modulus size. Size of the array is 8 here. Okay, we increase the value of rear by like this, not like this. We increase the value of rear in case of circular cube. We do like this. See what will happen. This and the value of rear is what? 7. 7 plus 1 will be what? 8. And what is the size of array? The size of this array is 8. Okay. So 7 plus 1, 8. 8 plus 8 modulus 8 will become 0. Means after when the value of rear will become 7, next value of rear will become 0. So instead of writing rear plus plus in case of circular cube, we update the value of rear as rear equal to rear plus 1 modulus size. Okay. Now listen, can we store now in case of push operation, we think about the overflow condition. Okay, whenever we are pushing, जब भी हम कोई values insert कर रहे हैं तो हम overflow वाली condition देखते हैं, Q is full or not, ये condition देखते हैं, full वाली condition देखते हैं. So what is the overflow condition here? That let me discuss here. Now you can see the front is at index number 0 and the rear is at index number 7. Now further we can, since it is a circular cube, we can store the value at index number 0 also. So but see, index number 0 has already a value because the front is at index number 0. Front अब index number 0 पे है और हम यहाँ पे index number 0 पे कोई value store नहीं कर सकते. We cannot store any value at index number 0 because front is at index number 0 and the front index already has a value. Index number 0 already has a value. We cannot store the value. So this is the condition of overflow. What is the condition of overflow is here? If rear plus 1 modulus size equal to front. See, rear, this time the value of rear is what? 7. 7 plus 1 will be what? 8. 8 plus 8 modulus 8 will be what? 0. And what is the value of front? 0. 0 equal to 0, condition true. So this is the condition of overflow. We cannot store the value in the circular cube if rear plus 1 modulus size equal to front. Here you can see the front is 0 and the value of rear is what? 7. The 7 plus 1, 8 modulus 8 will become 0. That is equal to front index. So we cannot store the value further. I hope. So this is the condition of overflow or full. The Q is full or condition of overflow. Please remember this. I will show you through the program. Okay. Now consider there is a place. Now I am going to remove some values from here. What if there is a place? Okay. Consider we are going to remove these two values. We are going to perform two values. So first we remove the value from index number. From which index? First we'll remove the value from. Consider we are going to perform pop operation. So we do the pop operation at which index? Front index. So first we'll pop the value. So the value at index number front, that is 0, will be popped, will be removed, and front will move to the next index. It will move to the index number 1. Front will move to here. Okay. Then again consider we are performing another operation, pop. Another pop operation, consider we are performing pop second time. So again it will return the value, it will remove the value from index number front. What the value of front? Once the value from index number front, index number 1 will be removed, will be returned, and front will move to the next index. Now front is here and rear is here. Okay. Two pop operation we have performed. Okay. Now let's see. Now we are going to push the value. Since these two places are free now, we can store the value at index number and 0 and 1. Since we have reached to the rear index, still in case of circular cube, if there is place to store the value in the previous indexes, we can store the value. So here two values are empty. These two places are empty. We can store the value in this. This time the value of front is what? 2. Remember this. So in this case, you can check this condition will be false. This is because there is place, there is a stack is, sorry, the queue is not full this time. You can see two elements we have removed. Okay. We have the values from front to rear. These are the values we have. and front is where it is at index number 2. Okay, so 7 plus 1, 8, modulus 8 will be 0, and front is what? 2 this time. This condition is false. It means there is possibility to store the value in the circular queue. ये दोनों जगह भी खाली है, यहाँ पे हम वैल्यू स्टोर कर सकते हैं. So as I told, we update the value of rear like this. Instead of writing rear plus plus, we write rear equal to rear plus 1 modulus size. Okay, this time the value of rear is what? 7. 7 plus 1, 8 equal to 8 modulus 8 equal to 0. Okay, so now the value of rear will become 0. Rear will become 0. So the value at index number 0 will be stored. Rear will become 0, and the value at index number 0 will be stored. Consider we are storing 35. Here we are storing, assume it, we are storing 35. Okay, let's see. Consider here is storing 35. Okay, now rear will move to the next index. Now front is rear will become 0. Now it should be 1. So let's see. As I told, instead of writing rear plus plus, what we do, we update the value of rear like this. So now see, the value of rear is what? What is the value of rear now? The value of rear is, let me show you. The value of rear is here 1. So 0. 0 plus 1. The value of rear is what? Rear is at this index. You can see rear is 0. Rear plus 1, 0 plus 1, modulus size. What is the value of size? 8. 0 plus 1 will be 1, modulus 8 will become 1. This calculation, if you know, remainder will be 1. So rear will move to the index number 1. After storing the value at index number 0, by this updation, rear will move to the index number 1. Okay. Then, now can we store the value at index number 1? Yes. The value of front is 2, no? So here front equal to, what is the value of front? The value of front is 2 here, and the value of rear is what? 1. So 1 plus 1 will become 2. 2 modulus 8 will become 2. 2 modulus 8 will become 2. The front is what? Yeah. Okay, now see, the rear is at which index? Index number 1. Now we'll move to the rear. So the value of rear is 1. And now we can store the value. Now we're going to perform next push operation. If you are going to perform next push operation, we will store at rear index. Rear index मतलब यहाँ पे मान लो हमने 40 store कर दिया index number 1 पे. Now rear will move to the next index. So how it can be moved? To move the rear to the next index, rear plus 1. The value of rear is what? What is the value of rear now? The value of rear is 1. So 1 plus, the value of rear is 1. So 1 plus, let me show you. 1 plus 1 will become 2. The 2 modulus 8 will become 2. And the value of front is what? I have already told, it is 2. So now the stack is full. So it's not stack, it's queue. Now the queue is full because rear plus 1 modulus 8. Rear plus 1 means 1 plus 1 will become 2. 2 modulus 8 will become 2. So this condition is true now because it is equal to the value of front. So it means the queue is full. By stack, sorry for that. The queue is full. So this is the condition of the queue is full. This time I didn't say stack. Okay. Let's see. Let me show you through the code. See, this question I have taken from 2020 question paper of board examination. See, the class name is what? Circular queue. Okay. And the name of array is CQ is given. The size for the array, the data member for the size of the array is given cap. So the maximum capacity of the array means the size of the array. Okay. Then front index, for front index there is a variable front, and for rear index there is a variable rear. Okay. Now we are going to perform only, we are going to write as per the examination, we need to write only these two functions. You can see, specify the class circular queue, giving the details of functions void push int and int pop. Only these two functions you supposed to write in the examination. 2 marks, 4 marks का होता है. Assume that other functions have been defined. Okay, so let's see. So I'm going to show you first this push operation which I have discussed. I'm going to show you through the code. C. As I told, the condition of overflow, this is the condition of overflow, means Q is full, rear plus 1 modulus cap equal to front. अगर rear plus 1 modulus cap equal to front है, तो it means the Q is full. Otherwise, we will store the value, this value to the rear index in the array. The name of the array is CQ, and we'll move rear to, like, instead of writing rear equal to rear plus 1 or rear plus plus, what we have to update the value of rear like this, rear equal to rear plus 1 modulus cap. Okay, so this I have discussed, and I have discussed thoroughly. I think the things are clear. This is a please go back and watch that video again, previous part, and then the things will be clear. Still, if there is any confusion, you can ask to the comment section. So this is about push operation. Okay, now I'm going to discuss about pop operation. So I'm going to continue in this only. See, after doing that many operations, this is the condition. Consider this is the situation now. The rear is at index number 1, the value of rear is 1, and the value of front is what? 2. This is the situation. Okay. Now we are going to perform pop operation. In case of pop operation, we check for the empty queue. Okay. So where it is, we check for the condition of underflow. So consider this is a situation. After storing the value here, we have stored the value at index number 0 and at index number 1, and when the value of rear become equal to f, then we have stopped. We told that queue is full. This we have done, okay, up to this. Now this is the situation, rear is here and front is here. Now we are going to perform pop operation. As you know, we perform pop operation from which index? From front index, okay. So I'm going to perform pop operation. Since this time the value of front index is 2. So we'll get the value from index number 2. This value will get, and then front will move to the next index. Now front will become 3. Now again we are performing pop operation. So this again from front index means from index number 3 the value will be returned, and the front will move to the next index. It will become 4. Now again we are performing pop operation. Okay, means from front index the value from index number 4 will be returned, and then front will move to the next index. It will become 5. Now we are going to perform pop operation 4th time. So, and the value from index number 5 will be returned, and then front will become 6. Front will move to the next index. Then again we are going to perform pop operation. The value from index number 6 will be returned, and then front will move to the next index. Then again we are going to perform pop operation. The value from index number 7. From index number 7 will be returned, and then now listen carefully. Up to this is okay. The value from index number 0 will be returned, and after returning the value from the index last index, as it is a circular queue, it's supposed to move to the index number 0. There is no such index 8 afterwards. It should go to the index number 0 since it is a circular queue. So how it can be moved? So same thing we do here too. Now after returning the value from last index, it's supposed to go, the front index supposed to go at index number 0. So same thing we do here too. Instead of writing front plus plus, what we'll do? We will update the value of front as front equal to front plus 1 modulus size of the array. Here the size of the array is 8. So 7 plus 1 modulus 8 means 8 plus 8 will become 0. 8 modulus 8 will become 0. Okay. So here we'll, after this, so by this way the value of front will become what? 0. Just a minute. So here front will become 0. The value of front is what now? 0. Okay. Here I am updating the value, front will become 0. Take care of this. Front is here now. Okay. Okay. Now we'll pop the value. Consider we are going to pop the next value. The value will be popped from which index? From index number front, that is 0. Then front will move to the next index. See, it will move to the next index by this updation only. Front is what? 0, 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 will be modulus size. Size is what? 8. 0 plus 1 will be what? 8. So 0 plus 1 will be 1. 1 modulus 8 will become 1. Means now the front will become 1. So we are not doing front plus plus here. We are doing this updation. The front will move to the next index. Okay. Now the value will be returned from this index, index number 1. The value will be returned from the index number 1. Now afterwards, now we are going, so you can see we have returned all the elements from this array. We have started from front and we are going up to rear. We have returned all the values from front to rear. Okay, there is no element left to return, means the queue is empty now. So what is the condition of queue is empty? You can see when front equal to rear. If the value of front is equal to rear, it means the queue is empty. Okay, so this is the condition of front equal to rear is the condition of underflow or empty, you can say. Okay, otherwise if the front is not equal to rear, what we are doing, we are returning the value from the front, then we are updating the front like this. We are returning the value from the front index, then we are updating the value like this. Am I clear? So let me show you through the program. In the program, I'm going to show you the pop function. Okay, as I told, this is a condition of empty or underflow, you can say. There is no element left in the queue to return. So this is the condition of if when the front is equal to rear. As per the question, it is said, see in the question, it is said to return minus 999. Remove the and return the integer from the front end of queue if any, else return minus 999. So as per the question, we are returning minus 9999. Okay. Otherwise, if front is not equal to rear, means there is possibility to return a value, to remove the value. So what are we doing? We are taking the value from front index to the n. In this variable, we are storing the value from front index in the n. Then we are updating the value of front like this, as I told. Here the variable for size of the array is cap given. The front equal to front plus 1 modulus cap, the front will move to the next index as per the pattern of circular queue. Okay. And after updating the value of front, we are returning the value of n which we have stored from the front index. Okay. The front index वाली value हमने n में store कर रखी है पहले ही, और उसके बाद front queue update करने के बाद हम वो n return कर दे रहे हैं programs, functions. So this is all about circular queue push and pop operation. So I hope the things are clear. Still, if any confusion, you can ask through the comment section. So thank you for watching this video and have a good day.